Hi, this is Chris Graham, and today I'm going to be discussing Workforce Education Solutions, a new initiative within the National University System, and we'll be talking about a thought leadership strategic process for the new group. The enterprise is within the National University System. The National University System is a collection of nonprofit private universities that serve adult working students. And what this division is going to be, it's going to be a standalone entity within this institution. It's going to be serving all the universities and helping them with certain needs. And a little bit about the National University System. So collectively, we have over 40,000 students. Average age is about the mid-30s. We're military serving, Hispanic serving, and have about 200,000 alumni. One of the interesting things about the university is that each university has their own specific sort of niche. Some people focus on international business and leadership programs like City University of Seattle. Some folks like some of the institutions like National University have teacher education as a specialty, and other institutions are strictly doctoral and masters like North Central University. One of the exciting things about the system is they're all founded on the notion of educating working adults, and they're all about flexibility, so either on ground, online, or hybrid. So the new entity within the National University System is called Workforce Education Solutions. And really, the idea of this is that the universities were founded on the with a foundational pillar is educating working adults. So what we're doing is we're focusing on partnering with large industries and employers in educating their employees and helping them develop workforce pathways and academic pathways to help meet future job demands. And in the future, what we're looking to do is to really be a leader in not only workforce development, but in providing low cost and relevant workforce solutions to our outside partners. One of the real needs for for this institution and program is that there's expected to be a large shortfall of college educated workers, and they're looking at about 5 to 6 million over the next 5 years. What it's showing is that our current trends right now within the universities of traditional age students are not enough to fill that hiring pipeline. In fact, it's going to be shortening. So, and I, so so industry and companies, they're going to maybe potentially need to look at upskilling their own current workers in order to fill these positions. And what National Workforce Solutions and National University System is situated to do is actually help them do this. We have a wonderful example at City University of Seattle with Boeing and helping them to bring up a lot of the folks there on the factory floors into management and supervisory positions there. And one of the reasons this And a second one of the strengths and areas for potential thought leadership is actually the alignments with industries themselves. I touched briefly on some of the prior learning opportunities we have, both with the American Banking Association and with POST, which is Peace Officer Standard and Training. But also there's curriculum alignments. There's certain like healthcare. There's a standard called Plaintree. And what Plaintree is, it's a patient care centered standard that a lot of the hospitals and healthcare organizations align to. So the more that we can partner with those organizations and actually align our own curriculum to help to meet those standards so that when our students come out, they're workforce ready is a good opportunity for us. So one of the key strengths that we have is the category focus and the subject matter expertise. And with that, and so with the category, we're going to look at, let's say, the public safety. And so within the public safety category, there's about 765,000 sworn officers within the United States of America. And these are law enforcement officers. Within California, there's 80,000. So I'll take an example of National University and in California. So in California currently, there's probably about 50% who don't have a bachelor's degree right now. There's almost 500 law enforcement agencies, associations, police academies, and the opportunity for us, for the universities to both align with the training and to partner with corrections, partner with detentions, partner with police departments, partner with sheriff's departments, and to really almost not own the category, but to really focus on that category and to hit all aspects within that category. There's opportunities for us to become really a domain expert in that area, and also to develop certain subject matter expertise and to become and to truly become a thought leader in this area. So the strength I am going to pick is the category focus, and it is it's an area that will give us a lot more. I think a lot more credibility as an institution where we're not trying to be an expert on everything. We're trying to really create some type of thought leadership in certain specific areas. And with public safety, the with the pure number of public safety officers available, and also nobody's really kind of entered that category from a university perspective and really sort of led conversations around that. So there's a nice opportunity for workforce education solutions and the universities to come apart and do that. And so here you can see sort of who are the large organizations that they'll be partnering with, and also what are some of the big opportunities, both regionally but also nationwide. So, in terms of our subject matter expertise, a person that we're going to be partnering with, or she's actually has just recently come on board, is the former police chief of San Diego, Shelley Zimmerman. Now, Shelley Zimmerman was the first woman police chief in San Diego, and she was recognized as one of those top law enforcement professionals in the country. And so recently she stepped down and retired about 9 months ago. And there's been a lot of speculation that Shelley was going to run for mayor of San Diego. There's been a lot of interviews and exploratory committees and a lot of attention because she was considered a really viable threat to win the mayor. Well, recently she's been meeting with National University, and really her true passion is public safety and really elevating public safety, not only within San Diego and the California, but across the country. And so she recently announced last week that she's not going to be running for mayor in San Diego, but instead she's going to be working with us at National University to help to further align public safety training with industry standards. And so bridging academics and industry, and also really serving as a spokesperson for us. One of the things that one of the things that makes Chief Zimmerman such a great thought leader right now is she clearly has a vision for public safety, both where it is and where it could potentially go. She has a great leadership style. She motivates others very highly, and that's actually one of the aspects that's come up in the reading about thought leaders themselves, is they have the ability to motivate others. She's honest, she's ethical, she's a terrific communicator, not only externally in the media and to officers and to students, but also internally. Sure, her outlook is very broad. She's thinking about bigger things than just San Diego and just criminal justice. She's thinking about leadership. She's thinking about homeland security. She's thinking about workforce development and all those areas. And like I had mentioned earlier, she's very well respected, and she's got her priorities focused on our students right now, our future students, and also the officers who are she can be helping and benefiting. Some of the aspects of it to play on the strengths with Shelley and to really leverage the brand and build it up is, excuse me, is the use of social media. So Chief Zimmerman announced last week that she was going to be joining National University. And she has about 8,000 followers. So she was able to push that out, and immediately the mayor of San Diego and other people started to respond to it. And a lot of people are, she's been very consistent in her message about public safety and about elevating public safety and building bridges there. So National University is able to back up what she's doing on Twitter with not only the retweets to them, but backing it up on other platforms such as LinkedIn, such as Facebook. the news conferences and that, and really working together to build our our followership, but meld those together. National University has about almost 100,000 folks between alumni and followers on LinkedIn, and then about 150,000 on Facebook. A few of the thought leadership topics that we could be exploring and leading conversations of them. One are community outcomes. There had already been there's already been studies and conversations about correlations between education levels of officers and outcomes in the community there. And so the idea that an educated police force is a better police force. And Chief Zimmerman speaks to that commonly. But secondly, 21st century policing. And this is Obama's task force that came out, I think, in 2015 about what it takes to be a 21st century police officer with community engagement, with new standards, with perceptions, unconscious bias, and the rest. And really the call for universities and public safety to really come together and lead a conversation on education. And that was put out there as one of the initiatives in 2015, but nobody's really grabbed the baton and run with it from the university and education perspective. A few of our audiences that we'll be wanting to talk to about this to lead these conversations are one of the law enforcement agencies. We have local agencies. We have the sheriffs and the police department in San Diego, LA, and San Francisco, and Sacramento, but also the statewide organizations. California Peace Officer Standard and Training is recognized as the best law enforcement training organization in the country. And so they set much of the standards there and the training there. So, so continuing that relationship and looping them into the conversation and helping to inform each other of training standards and best practices. Also, the journalists, not only the journalists from the LA Times and the Union Tribune and the other types of articles, but the Fraternal Order of Police and a lot of the other magazines that are law enforcement and public safety related. There's other education leaders to bring along this pipeline, our community college partners. Currently 18 police academies in California are run through our community colleges. And then also audience members are, the current officers, the potential students, and our alumni. For marketing and PR, what we're going to need there is we're going to need a communications plan and strategy. We're going to need to be reaching out to local media outlets. We're going to need to set a calendar of communications and a strategic cascading of information. And then we'll also need to be leveraging our social media and our creative services to doing everything from branding to messaging to the dissemination of information, and then also be willing to back this up with media buying and sponsorship, maybe getting involved with conferences and giving some initial lift and air cover to these projects. So when looking at the strategy and execution of this, what I wanted to do was to take a look at the subject matter expertise with it, which is Chief Zimmerman and the faculty of the university, but also align it with the execution of the thought leadership plan. And I'm going to call it marketing execution for now, and see what those impacts would have on reputation, which is the arrow on the left, and then the enrollment, which is the horizontal area. And the goals for this are going to be really to increase the reputation of the university and the public safety programs, and also to increase enrollment into those programs. And you can see the relationship here in the matrix between subject matter expertise and the execution of the plan. And aligning the expertise and the execution together is the way to increase the reputation and enrollment goals that we're looking at. You can see if we do the marketing execution, but there's no real expertise plan behind it, in terms of integrating Chief Zimmerman, attaching the other academics and the other industry leaders in the area, you're going to have a marketing execution plan where you might get people initially aware of the program, but there's not going to be much legs to it, and there's certainly not going to be much reputation to it. If we have the subject matter expertise there, in place, and we align with the other partners, but we don't execute on it. We don't tell the story. We don't bring people along. We don't build followers. We might have reputation in small circles, but our enrollment is definitely not going to increase. And then if we do nothing, which is the which is the bottom right quadrant, if we don't do the subject matter expertise and we do no marketing execution, we don't do anything, you could say you could see it'll remain in a low enrollment state, and also no one will be talking about us. So some of the next steps here is actually to go ahead and develop a thought leadership action plan. And some of those things we're going to want to do is establish some timelines, establish some benchmarks for things that we want to happen, identify really what our outlets are going to be for this and what our activities are going to be in order to generate this thought leadership campaign. And then also identify the team and identify the budget that we need in order to make this happen. I think it's a very doable project, and I'm excited to see us take the next steps.